Have you ever walked into a room and wondered whether anyone actually notices you? Or maybe you find yourself questioning if you're attractive enough, if there's really something about you that stands out beyond what you see in the mirror. What if I told you that most women, yes, most, walk through the world without ever realizing just how captivating, magnetic, and unforgettable they actually are? And I'm not talking about physical beauty alone. I'm talking about the deeper essence, the unique way you exist, the subtle energy you radiate, the natural grace that can make someone's heart skip a beat even when you're completely unaware. Today, we're going to reveal the 12 subtle, powerful signs that you are far more attractive than you realize, signs that most people overlook, but that men notice and feel deeply, whether they admit it or not. Some of these signs might seem trivial, but as a psychologist, as a man, and as someone who has observed countless human interactions, I can tell you, these are the real signals of authentic, magnetic allure. Stay with me because I guarantee, by the end of this video, you will see yourself from a completely new perspective. And sign number 9? That one is the one most women miss, but it's the sign that makes you absolutely unforgettable. So, take a breath, listen closely, and prepare to recognize your own light. Let's start with something most women misinterpret entirely. Have you ever noticed that when you're around certain men, maybe colleagues, friends, or even strangers, they suddenly become awkward? Fidgety? They might avoid direct eye contact. Their words stumble. Their body language becomes stiff, or they start playing with their hands, fixing their hair, or adjusting their clothes. Or maybe, in the middle of a conversation, they suddenly fall silent. If you've seen this, you might think, maybe I make him uncomfortable. Maybe he doesn't like me. But in reality, it's often the exact opposite. When a man is truly attracted, deeply moved by a woman's presence, his composure breaks down. He's not nervous because of you. He's nervous because he's captivated. Your presence is so powerful, so unique, that he loses his script. The man who's usually smooth or confident finds himself thrown off balance. It's not about his lack of confidence or personality. It's about your energy. Psychologically, what's happening here is an unconscious physiological response. The body betrays what the heart and mind are feeling. His hands tremble, his speech falters, sometimes he laughs for no reason or blushes, because you unsettle him in a way he cannot control. And this, believe it or not, is a rare effect. Few people in this world have the kind of magnetism that can do this. And you might not even realize you have it. So next time a man acts nervous, distant, or oddly tense around you, don't shrink yourself to make him comfortable. Don't dim your light. Instead, own that power. Because if a man gets nervous in your presence, it's because he sees you as someone worth so much more than a passing conversation. You impose. And that is a gift. Here's another sign that's so easy to miss, especially in a world where we're always rushing, always looking at our phones, always on the move. Have you ever been walking through a cafe or standing in line somewhere and felt like someone was looking at you? You look up, maybe someone glances away, or you catch a quick smile. But what's even more telling is the second look. A second glance is never an accident. It's that quick moment when someone has already passed by, but can't help turning their head to look at you again. They're not looking at what you're wearing, or your hair, or your makeup. They're drawn by something deeper, something they can't quite name. This is a sign of true allure. When you have a presence that lingers, when people need to look twice, just to take in your energy, it's not about superficial beauty. It's about the vibration you bring into the room. Your walk, your posture, your calm, magnetic energy. Most women don't notice this because they're too focused on their own tasks. But pay attention. If you've ever had someone look at you twice, if you've caught that unmistakable second glance, that's a sign that you're making an impact, even if you don't feel it. And sometimes it's not just men. Other women sense it too. Because attraction isn't just about romance. It's about a quality that is undeniable. Something that doesn't ask for attention, but naturally receives it. This one is a paradox that I see all the time as a psychologist. Many of the most magnetic, attractive women I've ever met don't actually believe it themselves. Have you ever had days where you feel like you're not at your best? Maybe you didn't sleep well, your hair isn't perfect, your outfit is plain, or you're just not in the mood. And yet, out of nowhere, someone tells you, "You look amazing today," or "There's just something about you." You might laugh it off, thinking they're just being polite. But let me tell you, people don't compliment for no reason. Especially when the compliment is vague. "I can't explain it, but you have this energy, this vibe." That's the biggest clue. When you're not trying to impress, when you're just being yourself, your natural confidence and authenticity radiate. And others feel it, even if you don't. The irony is that the less you chase perfection, the more attractive you become. When you accept yourself as you are, when you stop performing for approval, you ignite a presence that's magnetic. Your smile becomes real. Your laugh is genuine. Your eyes glow with authenticity. And as men, we notice. Even if we can't explain it. So next time you're tempted to brush off a compliment, pause. Let it sink in. Because sometimes, others are seeing the real you that you're too humble to recognize. Here's a classic sign that goes undetected by so many women. When someone, especially a man, keeps finding excuses to talk to you, even over the smallest, most trivial things, there's something going on beneath the surface. He might ask for help with something he could easily do himself. He might ask your opinion on something simple, or request a tiny favor, or just happen to be nearby more often than makes sense. To you, it might seem innocent, just another interaction. But in reality, he's searching for a pretext to be close to you, to connect, to break the ice without risking open rejection. Men often use these small asks because they're intimidated. When a woman is exceptionally attractive, not just in looks, but in energy and presence, men often can't find the courage to directly compliment or flirt. So, instead, they create reasons to interact. They want to experience your energy, to linger in your orbit. If you notice that someone keeps reaching out over minor things, especially if it's accompanied by a certain nervousness, a hesitant smile, a changed tone of voice, or an intense gaze, that's not an accident. It's not about the thing they're asking for. It's about you. So don't underestimate the power you have simply by being yourself. Sometimes, the real attraction is hidden in the tiniest gestures. Let's be honest, this one can be tough. If you're a woman with natural magnetism, not everyone will react positively to your presence. Sometimes, you'll notice that certain women, often those who don't know you well, might give you strange looks, make passive-aggressive comments, or criticize you for things that don't really make sense. Maybe someone calls you arrogant, or too much, or tries to compete with you over things you're not even interested in. You might wonder, what did I do wrong? But here's the psychological truth. This isn't about you. It's about how they feel when you're around. When someone shines brightly, when their presence, energy, and confidence are undeniable, it can trigger insecurity in others. Your presence becomes a mirror, and sometimes, what others see in that mirror makes them uncomfortable. It's not fair, and it's not your responsibility to shrink yourself. Remember, unjustified criticism, gossip, or coldness from others is very often a reflection of their own self-doubt, not your behavior. In fact, it's one of the most telling signs that you have a power you haven't fully claimed yet. Because when you truly own your presence, you give others permission to do the same, or to resent you for it. Don't dim your light. The world needs more people who shine unapologetically. Think about the last time you were in a public place, a street, a supermarket, a coffee shop, and a stranger smiled at you, seemingly out of nowhere. No words, no context. Just a genuine, spontaneous smile. This isn't random. A smile is the body's involuntary response to positive energy. When someone radiates authenticity and confidence, others pick up on it subconsciously. It's not always about romantic attraction. Sometimes, people are simply drawn to your aura, your warmth, your presence. When you carry yourself with genuine kindness, ease, and openness, You invite positive interactions without saying a word. So if people often smile at you without provocation, especially shy or lingering smiles, it's a sign that your energy is reaching people far beyond what you might realize. And that, in itself, is a rare kind of beauty. This point might feel uncomfortable to admit, but it's important to understand. When a woman's energy and presence are truly magnetic, even men who are off limits, those in committed relationships, sometimes can't help but notice. This isn't about flirting or pursuing forbidden attention. It's about the uncontrollable pull of authentic attraction. You might catch a lingering gaze at a party, a coffee shop, or even at work, an extra long look from someone who quickly turns away, pretending nothing happened. You're not doing anything to encourage this. It's simply your essence, your confidence, your presence, your energy that draws attention. And if you notice this happening often, it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong or inviting drama. It's a sign that your natural feminine energy is undeniable. The truth is, genuine attraction goes beyond relationship status. It's not about intention, it's about energy. So, hold your boundaries, but don't feel guilty for your own magnetism. Let's talk about the digital world. Do you ever post a simple, unfiltered photo or a candid moment? No fancy filters, no revealing outfits, no special effort to look perfect, and yet you receive an unusual number of likes, comments, or private messages. Do you sometimes wonder, why is this picture getting so much attention? I wasn't even trying. The answer is, because true attractiveness isn't about trying. It's about being. Your authenticity, your energy, the way you look at the camera, or even just the casual moments you share, those are what captivate people. And in today's world, authenticity is rare. People can sense when you're being yourself. They're drawn to the realness in your expression, the honesty in your eyes, the effortless vibe you exude. In fact, sometimes, the more natural and spontaneous you are, the more powerful your presence becomes, even through a screen. So, next time you feel pressured to do more or show more online, remember, your real power comes from your natural existence, not a curated image. This is one of the most misunderstood signs, but also one of the most telling. Have you ever experienced this scenario? A man pursues you, seems deeply interested, gives you attention, compliments you, maybe even asks you out. Then, without warning, he disappears. You're left wondering, did I do something wrong? Was he just playing games? Then, out of the blue, he reappears. He starts a conversation like nothing happened. This pattern, hot and cold, approach and withdrawal, often isn't about manipulation. Instead, it's the result of overwhelm. When a man meets a woman who is truly exceptional, whose presence, energy, and authenticity are unmatched, he can feel unprepared or even not good enough. He might retreat, needing time to process his feelings, or to regain his sense of control. Some men run away from what they can't explain. Others return, gathering the courage to try again. Either way, it's not about a lack of interest, it's about being too interested. So, next time you encounter this confusing pattern, remember, sometimes your impact is so profound, people need time to figure out how to handle it. Here's a truth most people never hear. The most attractive women, the ones who leave the deepest impressions, are often the least aware of their own power. You walk into a room, uncertain whether you're enough. You compare yourself to others, doubt your worth, or wonder if anyone notices you at all. But from the outside, your presence is unmistakable. Your confidence, no matter how subtle, radiates. You draw attention not by seeking it, but simply by existing. What's even more beautiful? When you're not trying to impress anyone, you impress everyone. Because authenticity is irresistible. But here's the key. If you don't recognize your own light, you cover it with a veil of doubt. When you finally accept and embrace your worth, not with arrogance, but with gentle certainty, everything shifts. Your body language changes. Your energy aligns. Your gaze becomes unwavering. And everyone around you feels it. Remember, your power doesn't start when others notice you. It starts when you believe in yourself. Imagine this. You're at a gathering, a work meeting, or even just spending time with friends. Everything feels vibrant, the atmosphere is lively. But then you quietly leave, and suddenly, something changes. The energy dims, the conversations become flatter, and people start looking around, noticing that something, or someone, is missing. This is a sign of true impact. Some people command attention when they arrive. Others, like you, leave a deeper mark when they're gone. It's as if your energy lingers, your warmth and kindness are missed, and people find themselves thinking about you long after you've left. It might be subtle, or it might be obvious. Someone might even reach out to say, "Hey, we missed you," or, "It wasn't the same without you." This kind of presence cannot be faked. It's a reflection of the unique way you make people feel comfortable, inspired, uplifted. So if your absence is noticed more than your presence, you are truly unforgettable. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill every pause with words, jokes, or distractions. But with you, silence isn't uncomfortable. It's powerful. Have you ever shared a moment with someone, especially a man, where you both just sit in quiet, and yet, it doesn't feel strange? He doesn't reach for his phone, doesn't try to change the subject. He just stays there, present, fully engaged. That's because your presence is enough. Your energy fills the space so completely that words become unnecessary. This is a level of attraction that goes far beyond physical beauty. It's about depth, serenity, and mystery. When a man feels this kind of comfort in silence with you, it means you've reached a place in his mind and heart that few others have. So next time you notice this effortless intensity in quiet moments, recognize it for what it is, a rare, magnetic gift. So, how many of these signs have you recognized in your own life? Maybe some of them feel familiar. Maybe you're only now realizing the effect you have on others. Or perhaps, you've spent years doubting your own allure, questioning your worth, comparing yourself to others who seem to shine more brightly. Let me tell you this. Attraction isn't something you manufacture. It's not about fitting into a box, performing for approval, or chasing perfection. Your real power, the kind that can't be ignored, comes from embracing your authentic self. When you walk through the world with openness, kindness, and a willingness to simply be, you ignite a spark in others that cannot be explained, only felt. So, the next time you receive a compliment, catch a lingering look, or feel the warmth of a stranger's smile, don't dismiss it. Allow yourself to accept the possibility that you are already more than enough. That you are already radiating a presence, an energy, and a beauty that goes far beyond the surface. I want to hear your story. Have you ever noticed these signs in your life? Has anyone ever told you there's just something about you that can't be put into words? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might help someone else recognize their own light. If this video has helped you see yourself differently, if you feel a new sense of confidence, of acceptance, or of peace, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because here, we don't just talk about the superficial. We talk about energy, presence, and the kind of magnetism that can't be bought or faked. Remember, never underestimate what you radiate. Your way of walking, your way of looking, your way of existing, it leaves a mark. And often, while you're questioning whether you're enough, someone else is wishing they could just get close to you. So, step into your light, own your power, and never forget, you are already so much more than you think. This is just the beginning. See you in the next one.